Hey everyone, I'm Granhall and welcome to Let's Play PixelJunk Eden. This game was actually a special request from Josh because, well, I described it as being a very chill game and he wanted to see that after all the death and destruction of Dead Rising. So, who was I to say no? So, these green things that are flying in from the sides are called pollen prowlers, and they're full of pollen, oddly enough, which you need to fill empty seeds with in order to make the seeds sprout. Or rather, you need to fill the seeds with pollen to make the seeds ready to sprout. Up there in the top right you can see an empty seed. When you catch pollen, it flies to the nearest seed. To the nearest empty seed, that is. If there's one within range, which there isn't always. And essentially, your movement abilities are jumping in whatever direction you aim in. And if you hold down the jump button when you jump, you swing off a piece of silk. And the silk can kill the pollen prowlers just as easily as jumping can. Also, if you hold the jump button while in the air, you spin, which lets you pass through plants, like so. It also pulls pollen to you a little bit faster. It's also very important to note where you're actually going to land when you jump off somewhere. This has been the folly of many. Or at least me. A lot. So, anyway, those are the basics of the game. The more pollen prowlers you destroy in one jump, the more pollen, or the greater the combo of them will be, and the more pollen will come out of each one. Also, you can do a downward slam attack, which will also increase the amount of pollen that a prowler produces. Like so. If you can combo those, you're pretty much set. Now you have a time limit, which is indicated in the bottom right, bottom left. I know my directions. And, well, as with any good time limit, it runs out. So you have to collect these crystals in order to refill it. The larger ones are worth a lot more than the smaller ones, as you might have guessed. I missed the plant. So, you may be wondering what the purpose of the game is, what the goal, the end result that we're going for is. Well, that is a spectrum, or a spectra as the game calls it. Personally, I think it should use the singular form, since spectra sounds like the plural to me. They're described as fusions of light and sound, and you have to collect a certain number of them in each level. The number being equal to one more than the number of times you've beaten the level already. Up to 5. This time, we're supposed to collect 5 of them. There's also a bonus for opening all of the seeds, so that's part of the reason I'm doing that. Oh, that seed's not ready to open yet. We have to give it a little bit more time. And pollen. Also, spinning pulls pollen toward you more effectively than not spinning. And there are some enemies that can only be hurt while you're spinning, so it can be a good thing to do. Now, one more thing about finding the spectra. You may notice a flashing at the edge of the screen. That indicates the direction of the closest spectrum. Also, when you spin around on silk, it leaves an afterimage in the direction of the nearest spectrum. And we can see it right there. And I can fall down. I can fall even farther due to the rocky outcropping above me. Rock you cannot pass through, and you cannot swing off silk on. So it can be a pain. But here's another spectrum. Now we only need to get 3 more. So climbing my way back up here. I am going to get that seed over there because I'm stubborn. See, spinning to pass through a plant. And let's see, what direction is the next spectrum? More often than not, the next spectrum is also in the same direction. That's the word I was looking for. As the next seed, so it's not a bad idea to go in the direction of that. And if you can combo opening seeds, it gives you a large number of crystals as a bonus. These being the time crystals that extend your time limit. See? I went in the direction of the next seeds, and I found the next spectrum. Just as I was expecting. So, we need to find a way to actually get up there, because it's a little bit high to jump to. So, open this seed, and it sends a plant shooting upward. However, the spectrum still appears to be out of reach. Perhaps we could climb this rocky outcropping to the side to get to it. Yes, this appears to be working quite well. Unfortunately, you cannot collect a spectrum with silk. So... I need to get back up there. Oh, there's another spectrum over to the left. But in any case... Oh, that worked. I didn't have to spin at all. So... time to get that one up at the top left. Now top middle. Somehow. It's not always obvious how to get them. Most of the time it involves opening seeds. Oh, and when you're spinning, you also can't grab rocky outcroppings, which makes my constant spinning habit somewhat detrimental. So, we only have one spectrum left to collect. What direction is it, Silk? It is up and to the right. So, we should open this seed here. Which does absolutely nothing to get us closer to the next spectrum. So, we must open this larger seed, which takes much more pollen. Which means it takes many more pollen prowlers. Those few of you who know me know that I'm not generally fond of games that say, here's an objective, now complete it 6 times. Yet, this game is oddly appealing to me for some reason. It's something I can't quite put my finger on. But despite it being a type of game I generally loathe, I find it to be quite entertaining. And I haven't demonstrated it here, but if you manage to chain 3 seeds instead of just 2, then it instantly destroys all enemies on the screen. Which is certainly handy if you're in need of pollen. But if you're chaining 3 seeds in a row, you probably don't need much pollen. And I am having a terrible time trying to jump to this. Now, time to get more time by grabbing a large time crystal. The game merely calls them crystals. Time crystal is my nickname for them. So, continuing upward, we come across a seed that is not yet ready to sprout. And above it, a vast, empty expanse of nothingness. Poetic. Rise, my little seedling. Rise. Rise up to the heavens. You stopped rising. Why did you stop? Why did you stop rising right when I needed to land on you? We may never know. This has been PixelJunk Eden. I'm Granhall. See you next time.